The Cedo was always one of the most useful weapons in the game. You could use it for priming enemies, you could use it for killing enemies, and with its special unique trait, this Prime variant is even better. Today we're going to be talking about the Cedo Prime, a build or two for you, and let's quickly hop into the video. The Cedo is probably one of the best Master Rank 8 weapons you can possibly get yourself. As I previously mentioned a couple of seconds ago, it is amazing for priming, it has a really cool feature, and it's really good at dishing out damage. The Prime variant is even better though. It is a Master Rank 15 weapon, does primarily puncture damage with its primary fire, it has 24% critical chance, 2.4 critical times multiplier, and a 2% status chance, that's per pellet. Alt fire though is where the cool unique trait comes in. First of all, it fires off a glaive that deals slash damage. It explodes in a 6-meter radius on impact on surface or enemy, and it can bounce up to 11 times. It will retreat back and it will consume no ammo. Multi-shot is really good for this because it increases the number of glaives that you launch. These glaives apply toxin, cold, electricity, and heat. Apply these for not affected by mods, so the mods that you have on your weapon are going to get procced anyway, but they're going to be separate instances of toxin, cold, electricity, or heat. As I said, this is one of the best primers in the game that you can possibly have for your melee weapons or even for your warframes like I utilize in some of my situations. Other than that, it gets a 60% damage increase per element affecting the target, having basically a free condition overload on this weapon. Now you may be asking yourself, is it actually worth it to jumping from the base variant to the prime variant? Well, the statistics are up on screen, the differences at least, and the prime variant has everything pretty much higher. It is the only thing is lower disposition, but you can check it up on screen. Or would I switch? Yes, I would personally, because I already have the prime variant, but if I already have the base variant, I think in certain situations the prime version is better. In which, well, we'll talk about that in just a second, but before that we want to cover the builds that we have. And our first build is going to be Corrosive, Heat, and a little bit of Magnetic. You can actually check it up on screen right now. We are actually utilizing primary Frostbite. Considering we already have built-in condition overload that's going to increase our damage, we don't necessarily need Arcane Merciless or any of the other ones. Frostbite is going to be perfect because you're going to be applying a lot of cold, and getting that increased multi-shot and also getting that critical damage is so good. We primarily have Magnetic here for getting rid of those pesky Eximus units with their overguard, and Corrosive and Heat of course for reducing the enemy's armor almost fully and just destroying them in general. This build is usable for just using the weapon as is, so killing enemies and priming them as well, but what makes this weapon shine is having a Warframe that can already pre-prime enemies for you. Before we do cover one of those situations, we're going to be covering the second build. The second build is going to be Viral and Heat. We do utilize Galvanized Savvy here for our shotgun form, and this is primarily going to be for just killing enemies, priming them and then killing them as well. Both of the builds function incredibly good, it just depends on which one you want to use. If you already have Viral through other means like Nourish or Panzerwelpophyla, you're not going to use the Viral build, use the Corrosive one. One of the best ways that I found out using this frame is actually using it with the Warframe it came out with, which is a Lavos, and or for example Citrine, which you might have seen or will be seeing. Nonetheless, both of these Warframes can pre-apply a lot of statuses on enemies, and already having those status elements is going to be incredibly good. You can look at this as a melee weapon just in gun form, and with that in mind, priming the enemies with any sort of form, especially Citrine. Citrine is so good with this weapon. You can do loads and loads of damage. It always depends on the Warframe and the setup that you're running with. So if you want to maximize the damage with this weapon, you can go with a Warframe that can already pre-prime enemies, or even a companion like Jin. And for example, if you want to use it with utility, like for example that I do with my Seren, you can run the second build with Viral because I don't have Nourish on my Seren. We already have Viral, which means this is going to be nuking enemies with its alt fire and spreading the spores even more, utilizing it as a primer for our dual Ichor Incarnate as well. You can actually check out this full build up in the little eye up there if you're quite interested in what this is. But nonetheless, the Cedo is an incredibly good weapon. It always was, it's even better now. I see the damage increases, especially on the Cedo Prime so that's why I would personally use the Cedo Prime instead of the normal base Cedo, but it is completely up to you. Put it in the comment section down below. I'm quite interested. Are you thinking of switching to the Cedo Prime? Is it even worth it nowadays? Is the Cedo good enough for you? Leave all that in the comment section down below. Also, while you're already down there, click that subscribe button, click that little bell, and if you want, you can become a channel member. I'm trying to improve it every single time, and it helps me directly. Thank you very much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Cedo Prime. Leave a like and everything. I'll see you guys in the next one. Weasel over and out.